Yeah, I got a tattoo. Pretty cool. Let's see if I can get this. Angle's not great, so sorry. There we go. It's on my forearm there. It's the runes from Sirius Black's wand in Harry Potter. That this shouldn't turn into a video about Harry Potter, but basically that character is really important to me, and so I thought, hey, I saw it the sorry, I saw someone with the runes tattooed on like their calf as part of a Harry Potter tattoo ideas article, and I was like, hey, that'd be kind of fun because I kind of wanted a tattoo, like a Harry Potter type tattoo, and this one was kind of fun without being like the Deathly Hallows, the glasses, and the lightning scar, the dark mark. Why do people get the dark mark? Why do people do that? I don't know, but you know what? If it makes you happy, fine. Anyway, I also thought this video was going to be a little bit more interesting than it's going to be because when I decided I wanted to get a tattoo, my main concern was like, oh, sensitive to touch. I didn't mention this in the last video, but I can tickle myself, which is not supposed to be possible. So while I was like excited about getting the tattoo and I wanted to get the tattoo, I was also a little trepidatious, as it were, about how's my sensory stuff gonna react to this. And as it turns out, it reacted just fine. But I figured I'll make a video anyway, so that if someone's got worries about getting a tattoo with sensory sensitivities, then hey, for me it went fine, and honestly, I did not expect it to. Um, I will give a little bit of background on like what I did, how I did it, etc. So, right around the time I turned 18, I drew it on myself first. That's very important. My sister has some skin safe pens for just this purpose, drawing temporary tattoos on yourself. So I drew the runes on myself, and they lasted for about a week. And I decided I liked having them on there. I thought they looked pretty cool. And then after it finally wore off, I would find myself like looking at my arm and kind of thinking, "Huh, I kind of miss having those there. That was cool." So yeah, I was thinking about it for about a year and a half, wanting to make sure like, do I really want this? Do I miss having those on there? All the things. So I decided like, yeah, I do. I think that would be pretty cool. And so in February, yeah, February 1st of this year, actually, I decided, you know what? I have a bunch of babysitting money, and let's just do it now. Let's just do it. So I did. It was pretty cool. There was a tattoo parlor about 45 minutes from where I live, and so I made an appointment. Fortunately, they had an opening 1 week after the day I went in, so I was like, okay, let's just do that. And so yeah, I went in 2 p.m. It took about hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours, I think. Yeah, close on to 2, maybe a little more than that. Which was kind of nice. He put the stencil on first. We did end up having to reapply the stencil just to center it a little better. But yeah, I thought it was pretty. When I saw the stencil on my hand too, I was like, oh good, I do like how this looks. I want this on my body. So yeah, then the process itself was okay. It did hurt, but not to the degree that I was expecting in some ways. I have like 4 cats. And it was sort of comparable to getting scratched by the cats, but I'm apparently not allergic to tattoo needles and I am allergic to cats, so it actually felt a little bit better than the scratching because there wasn't the lengthy pain slash itching afterward due to an allergic reaction, so that was nice. I did all black ink. There's a couple of things I thought about that I thought would be cool to get in red ink, but not this. There's like other tattoo ideas I've had. But I've heard red ink is the most common to get an allergic reaction, and I'm happy I reacted well to this tattoo, but I don't want to push my luck. So, I think personally I'll probably stick with black or dark blue if I get other tattoos, just because apparently I react okay to that. Up by my wrist and further toward my elbow definitely hurt more. The middle of my forearm was more just irritated. while it was happening. And then it was pretty tender for a couple of days. Like stretching my arm was not something that could happen because that would agitate the skin. He slapped a clear bandage over it. It was pretty cool. It was just kind of like cellophane almost. It was pretty flush with the skin. You could barely see it. After a couple days you could, because fluff started getting underneath the edges of it, but right at first you couldn't see it at all. Basically, it was just shiny over the top. And yeah, I'm trying to think. So that was on there for about 4 days. And I know different tattoo artists do this differently. So the guy who did my tattoo was more of the put the bandage over it for like the 4 days that it's going to be peeling and leaking ink really bad. Some places will just have you put them on for a couple of hours, but he did the full 4 days and it was nice. It did start to look really weird under the bandage because the excess ink was leaking out, and so that looked pretty bad. And I was a little nervous, like, oh my gosh, what's this gonna look like when I finally take it off? But I did take it off after about 4 days, and it was fine. The excess ink had all stuck to the plastic instead of my arm, so I didn't have to worry about scrubbing it off. And then he said it would probably heal in about 2 to 3 weeks, but to wait a month just to be sure, until like considering it fully healed and being able to swim and whatever. I think it took closer to 3 because it peeled a little bit for a couple of weeks, so I had to make sure to put lotion on it. And for future reference, if your tattoo artist has a specific recommendation, go with their recommendation. But I just used a Neutrogena unscented lotion and it worked really well. I get really bad dry skin. That's one of the only lotions that ever works for my dry skin, and works just fine for tattoos as well. And then yeah, just unscented soap in the shower, and healed up just fine. It looks pretty good. It feels great. Some of the skin is a little elevated still, but I don't think that's going to go away, and it hasn't caused me any pain since about 4 days after the initial tattoo. So it went really well. And I know my grandparents watch some of my videos, and if they're watching this, and this is the first they've heard of it, so surprise, guys! I have a tattoo now. Yeah, I guess overall, my advice if you've got like sensory stuff and you're worried about getting a tattoo, this kind of goes for anyone, but make sure you really want it. Do try drawing it on yourself. That was helpful for me, just to know, hey, I do really want this. And just follow all the care advice, of course. Maybe stick with black ink for your first one at least. I think this is pretty general, but if you have sensitive skin especially, just because some colors can be more likely to do an allergic reaction. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, like I said, I thought I was probably going to have a bad reaction to it, and I kind of figured it was worth it anyway because I didn't think the bad reaction would last, and I didn't have a bad reaction at all. It was really great. Healed real fast, real nice. And yeah, now it's just on there, and I really like it still, so that's good, I guess. Trying to think if there's anything else, or if this is just it. Yeah, getting tattoos. It was kind of cool. Oh, one thing I will say, was kind of funny. The tattoo artist played heavy metal in the backgrounds the whole time, and normally I really hate noisy stuff like that. I mean, sensitive noise. But this actually kind of helped me zone out. It was weird. It was like, I think part of it's just because of how angry the music sounded. It was like funny to me, so I was able to just sort of chuckle my way through that, and it helped me. It was almost like white noise. Weirdly, it was almost like white noise in the background, and it's not something I'd choose to listen to, but in that environment where I'm getting this little, ink covered needle poked into my skin repeatedly, it helped. I was able to sort of, zone out, as I said, like white noise. So that's another funny thing. Yeah, I think that's about it. Healed really well. It's kind of nice. I think it's pretty cool. And I didn't react badly at all.